allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Lord, be with us today as we deliberate the business of the county. Help us, Lord, to keep in mind all the best interests of all of those residents of the county, Lord. Help us to keep in mind your guidance to us as we go through this meeting and the rest of our day. Thank you. Amen.
Amen. So we did have to have a stand-in for you last week, Steve. and-
I heard him. You did good. I thought maybe we just pass the baton over to the professional.
Well, we appreciate that, Jim. So, all right, have you gentlemen had a chance to look at the minutes from November 7th, 2023?
Yes,
There were a couple of changes I made that I caught on my own, so those are fixed.
Okay.
Make a motion, make 7 minutes.
Okay,
Second.
all right, motion carried.
Once in a while, I'll skip a motion carried if there's a long discussion.
That's the piece of laptop, charger. Just throw that.
All right. Jody, what do you have for us today?
I have, well, first what I have is an elected official bond for myself. This is done every year for elected officials, anybody that has to handle money. The only one that needs to sign at the bottom is Stan. And then I get one recorded at the recorder's office. I drop the other one off to Graber Insurance. And you are approving, you would be approving the elected official bond for the auditor at $105.
That much, huh?
I'm not even worth it.
So it is a financial bond?
It's an elected official bond, and what it is, it's a protection for the county if somebody embezzles or something.
Misbehave.
For example, Ed's costs a lot more because he deals with a lot more money. How much was yours, Ed, in the past?
I think it's $250,
So-
but it's covers 300,000, which
So
is basically 10%.
it's a requirement that anybody, the other than elected officials, other people are covered under a blanket bond by the insurance agency.
Gotcha.
So anyway,
Okay.
it tells you where you need to sign underneath here. They didn't really leave a line, but just anywhere underneath there. And there's two of them, one side and both of them. Yeah, there's two separate ones. Gets highlighted on the thing. One goes to the recorder.
I know we got a motion. Do we get a second?
Second.
All right.
Thank you. And some of those are approved by different people in their filing. It's just kind of, but that takes care of mine, and I got mine kind of early, really. But between now and
I said, wow, 10,500 to the church.
the Jim, don't get us in trouble. It's being recorded. Yeah, did you see the other one? Yeah, there you go. Okay, cool. Thank you. Next I have, one second here. Allied weekly health insurance claims. This is the first one in 3 weeks that we actually had claims because it was negatives the last two times. And the total amount of the claims are $76,700.50. Of that, RX is $53,073.31. Medical, $24,232.63. There were adjustments of $605.44, and I did sign and verified they are our claimants. That's the breakdown, and I wrote it down here because it's still in such small, fine print, it's hard to see. So,
Okay.
Make motion to approve. Second.
All right.
okay, and then the final thing that I have, I had brought up, Mike Brown is still out, so he won't be here to speak to his conversation with the gentleman from Amazon. But as I mentioned, the Amazon business package, Mike liked the idea because it gave better protection cybersecurity with authentications and so forth and so on. Bree is down here to help explain or answer any questions. Because once this is approved, we and Mike will be involved in the multi-factor authentication. And Bree, stop me or correct me if I'm wrong, but we will have, it's kind of a blanket Amazon for all departments. They will do a blanket tax exempt. People that are authorized to order in the departments will be on an Excel spreadsheet so that we can keep track and make sure of what's being done on that. It will be done in our office as far as keeping track of all that. It kind of means that if somebody not authorized in a department tried to order something from Amazon, they're not on that list. The other difference is it avoids the use of credit cards
Yes.
because it will not be invoiced.
Okay, invoice. So it'd be like one main Amazon account, but every department will have their own. And then they'll all get their own invoices. When I met with
Andrew,
Andrew, he showed me the sample of what I can pull each month to show what invoices are outstanding if I wanted to. But they will put, whenever he sets us up for the business account, he'll put in our tax exempt form so people won't pay taxes anymore.
it's also a savings by doing that.
Also, I had told Andrew that the commissioners in the past have really wanted to try to be local as much as possible. He can set it up to local, and I don't remember, he told us how many local, so there's 62,000 local sellers in Indiana, and there's 183 in Adams County. So he'll set that, so whenever the departments go in looking for something, the local people will come up first. So they could be buying from Amazon, but they're still buying local too.
It kind of allows the commissioners, because when these invoices come in, they'll be on the claims that you receive. So as you're looking through those, it won't be credit card that's already been spent or anything like that. It'll be actual claims that we put into Lyle and Doc Record, you guys to look at and approve as they come in. I guess our feeling is it's I don't know if I want to say cleans it up or what I want to.
Multiple Amazon accounts out there, I think Highway has one, Sheriff's Department has one, so they would per se get rid of theirs and we'd have just one for all the rest. And I know we buy stuff off Amazon, but we use our own personal, so we don't have the tax exempt. So at least this way, any department that wants to use it can have their tax exempt. It's all in one place.
Dan?
Like she was just saying, we got it set up through tax exempt. I mean, it's kind of like the counties now, but it's the sheriff's department, but we use tax exempt and everything now. Do we, if this gets approved, we have to cancel that and only use this one?
I would say so. He said that the Amazon, so you're an Amazon business.
Yes.
I mean, he said Amazon business is 10 to 15% discounted on average compared to regular Amazon. I guess that would be up to the commissioners.
But if you're already
I don't
doing,
think we want all these different accounts. You don't want Adams County government, Adams County Sheriff's Department, Adams County Highway. I would say that you would say, hey, you're all going under one account.
and it's Amazon business, so you might just need to be absorbed over into that or something. You'll still receive the savings that it provides, the tax exempt that it provides.
You pay a yearly subscription fee.
I guess just, it's for Prime.
Yeah, we don't have Prime.
We don't do Prime either. Because I made the mistake and clicked on it one time and I got my head ripped off for joining Prime. And she had to go back and get reimbursed for it. My mistake, Regina, I'm sorry.
But now, Andrew did say, if you have further questions and you would ever want him to participate, we could shoot him a link and he could come on and do it via WebEx if you have further questions on that. I think Bree has communicated with him, I've communicated with him, Mike Brown's communicated with him. And we feel pretty confident
So we currently have departments, obviously, that are using Amazon business account. And so if you fall under the county umbrella, you're not gonna lose your business discount, the way it sounds.
Right.
So, to me, it's like, it seems like it's adding another layer, but, maybe it's really being more efficient with the way we're now ordering.
I mean, we've had departments, I've had numerous departments that will call me and say, hey, do we have a county Amazon account? No.
This
So
way we
then
can
they
see.
want to know how they can purchase off of Amazon, and right now my answer is, in our office, if you want to buy something, between one of us that has an account, we order off of our personal, but then you're not getting tax discount. So that's why there would be one county Amazon that they can order off of. And
And then the only thing that we would use credit cards for would be
they're not
travel.
using-
You know what I mean?
Departments have been told not to use credit cards unless they will not invoice us. So if departments start using their credit cards, probably Tony and I will say something, like if they go,
Well,
Right.
if it's a hotel
Well,
or something like that,
but if.
I guess that's my point. I mean, we've got a conference coming up and we've got parking
Right,
and,
for that, but not
Yeah.
for this, not if
Not for
Amazon will
Amazon.
invoice you, or if you go
Right.
out to Ace and if you get invoiced, you need to use the invoice.
sure,
So this would get away from using a credit card for this.
sure. Brad?
Just a quick question. It's like with the credit cards though, like for us, there's sometimes when we order parts, we can only get them here. That's still all right to use a credit card for that. If they don't have purchase.
If they won't invoice.
Yeah, but I mean, for us, there's times we can't get parts local, so we've got to order them online. That's
yeah,
what-
if they won't invoice, that's fine.
So the stuff that's understandable is understandable.
Yes. But
This
if you're
really
getting it
only
on
covers
Amazon,
Amazon.
No, no,
Yeah,
credit card, because
yeah.
they will invoice.
Yep.
So will we be encouraging the departments then to use this versus before whatever our current vendor is?
This or something.
I would say it's kind of just another, I mean,
Where you get the best price?
yep. Because right now, I mean, they're not all ordering, even though we said go to Fort Hugh,
I
but.
mean, it wasn't, we didn't demand it, it was just
Right.
recommended.
Right.
But they would still be able to do that if they wanted to.
I think this makes sense. I'll make a motion to approve, setting up an Amazon
So-
business account.
So do we want to take this one step further and say, for online ordering, these are the approved places to order from, Amazon for you? And I mean,
I think you go to the department and they find the best price. If they're going to order papers, they need to be doing their due diligence on prices.
Yeah, this
Like,
really
here
only
it is.
covers
I know
Amazon.
when I order office supplies for our office, I'll look at For You, I'll look at Amazon. I'll Google, see
Sam's
what
Club.
comes up, I'll look at Sam's Club. So I mean, I think each department, that's their responsibility.
This really just brings all of the Amazon orders under one Excel thing and we keep track of it. It really, it's only the Amazon stuff. If they order office supplies from For You Office, that's fine. This particular thing, just the Amazon business package is just for Amazon. And there are some good selling points to it, in particular credit cards. Because anytime you put your credit card out there online, there's a risk that it's being compromised. This way that at least will be some alleviation of that.
Because the way I do it now, it doesn't invoice. So that is a huge change to where we go through this, and it'll send me an invoice, and then we fill out a claim and pay for it how we want.
Yeah,
For
Virginia
what I
would
pay
fill out
for
a
now
claim.
is a credit card through my commissary. So it's not a county credit card, it's my own commissary credit card. But this is better that way, because it'll give you an invoice, and I submit the invoice for the claim, it can be pulled out of whatever line item I need to pay for it, without using a credit card, because that's what's different than how we do it now.
And if there's any,
We don't get an invoice.
so when you order, and say if the orders that you create come out of multiple line items, then you still have to fill out a claim form on those that goes to Bree.
Correct.
Yes.
But it'll come in one invoice, and I just break that invoice down to
Right.
a different claim.
Right, so
And which I don't have that opportunity doing it now.
the claim process is still basically the same as it.
Yeah.
as
And really, like you're saying, you wanted to nail it down and say, hey, you can only order from one for you, you would almost have to go to a, like, centralized office supply thing that we had talked about, because it would be more, I guess, watching what departments do. There's 32 departments, so
I think this is separate and apart from the 4U office.
order where they want to.
And I have never been a proponent of micromanaging department heads.
This is just another level of protection for people that order from Amazon.
If this makes it easier for you, if it makes it easier for the departments, and
It's
if
giving
it,
them an extra
Choice.
choice
okay,
and hopefully saving money.
And if there's questions going forward, Andrew is very accessible. For example, Dan, if there are questions on whatever it may be,
It would be nice. Right now, like I said, I pay out of my commissary. I could have a line item that would pay for it, but because of how I ordered it through Amazon, I can't do that. Now I'll be able to do that because they'll give me the invoice, I submit a claim, and I can pay for it out of line item budgeted items it's there to pay for. But how I do it now, I don't, because I have to pay for it when I order it, and I just pay for it out of commissary. So this is fine. I don't see it being an issue.
good. And Brad, however,
Yes, we like it. We've had good experience with it. There again, like she was saying too, if you looked at Amazon, you can find a lot better prices a lot of the time.
well, probably, we don't need any specific action to set it up other than to make a recommendation to department heads.
And I'll email Andrew back and get it set up, and then probably once it's set up, we can send out an email to all the department heads and say, here, the Amazon information that you need to log in, and kind of explain, like, you'll get invoiced and stuff like that.
I mean, Mark can answer the question as to whether or not you make a motion and a second and you vote on
Well, and
approving the Amazon business package.
I think once you send out that letter, and encouraging department heads that this is an excellent option that offers security and value.
That's a lot of that.
So is authorization by email? We'll tell Andrew what emails are allowed to order from, or how do we know it's me?
I believe.
Okay, so it has to come from that email that's
Don't
approved,
use credit cards.
and if it does, it'll go through. If it's not,
Yes, I will verify.
okay.
Yeah,
Yes, it says, one of the things here to create is I have to upload an Excel user list of departments.
Gotcha.
And we will get a list, I think, where you correct me if I'm wrong. For example, Dan, if you, Eric, and Regina, let's say, those are the only three, they will have a thing that they'll have to put in, and that tells them, okay, they are approved to order.
Okay.
If Jim or some other deputy tries to order something and they're not authorized, they won't be able to do it. They'll have to come to one of the three, and it'll be that way for all departments.
Perfect.
You've got a motion though, I think, don't you?
Yeah, Steve made a motion.
I'll second it.
and that motion is to,
set up an account, a corporate account with, business account with Amazon.
okay,
Gotcha.
very good. Motion passes.
Thank you.
So,
Then I think it's just a matter of communicating the options to the department heads.
Right.
very good.
Was that a 2-0 vote? And you're gonna vote join on that too?
I'd be in favor of that.
Okay,
I
I'll
voted
put 3-0, so thank you.
Yes. All right. Tony, anything else?
That is all that I have. I'm not forgetting anything. No, I think that's all I have.
All right. This may be the last time I'm gonna call you up under this title.
Maybe.
Maybe. County Engineer and Highway Department.
Good morning. Basically, today I wondered why we hadn't had any for a while. Well, I'll make it up for it today. Permits.
There are a lot of them. 17.
So they're all the same company, which is good. I'll just go through where they're gonna be at, go from there. So it's all for Craigville Telephone. They're installing their fiber optic again, over on the west middle part of the county.
I came down there yesterday and saw a whole pile of poles.
Yeah, there's all kind of stuff going on. Yeah. All right, so on County Road 300 South, from 500 west to 700 west. County Road 600 west from 300 south to 350 south. County Road 500 west from 200 south to 1,000 feet south of 300 south. 100 south between 4 and 500 west. 500 west from 1 north to 100 south. 600 west from 100 north to 100 south. 500 west from 200 north to 400 north. 600 west from 200 north to 500 north. And 400 north from 500 west to 600 west. I think I've told you before, this company's been really good to work with. They do their best at getting them all the way from back to the right of way. If they got questions, they call, we'll go out and talk to them and get it figured out what we're doing. Like I said, they've been very good to work with.
Are these all for fiber?
These are all for fiber optics.
So moving.
Second.
All right.
You want to sign them now or we got to sign them now, don't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
probably.
So what I'm doing, I'm handing this out there. I think you guys already kind of heard earlier that, yes, they are paving in Oakwoods. Hopefully that's done this week. They're paving at Lynn Grove. Hopefully that's done this week. And then tomorrow, we're going to go out and put edge stone along 400 west. Get that taken care of. And then the dirt loader that you gentlemen allowed us to update. Wow. We have been covering a lot of ground. Last year, between breakdowns and rain, I believe we did 2 miles with the old dirt loader. And so far this year, we started last week, we're averaging 9 miles a day. So it's made a huge difference.
And
We're
it
getting
does
a
it-
lot of
does a
ground
nice,
covered.
clean job.
Oh, man, it looks very good. Yes. So yeah, it's been really going well. We appreciate it. Really do.
Where'd that come from again? Somewhere?
North Carolina.
Carolina.
Yes. And the gentleman that runs it throughout the day, he's not all covered in dust and dirt at the end of the day. It's actually got a nice enclosed cab on it, air conditioning and heat. So,
They even delivered that for us, didn't they?
yes.
What does it do, Brad, or what does it do, the dirt loader?
So the edges of the road, when they get built up, sometimes and hold the water, we'll have our road grader go and he cuts that and it makes a windrow, and this dirt loader has a belt, picks it up, and puts it in the back of the dump.
Oh, it scoops it up off of the excess.
It's a belt,
excess
yep,
dirt.
it just takes it and belts it right into the back of the dump.
Dirt and gravel, so forth, kind of.
Whatever's laying there,
Okay.
dirt, gravel, sod.
Okay.
Yes, it is doing a very good job. Man, we're getting a lot of ground covered. It's amazing how much you can. Good deal. Yeah.
Dirt If we want somebody to speak to that.
Yeah, there you go.
so
Yeah.
Crowd, I'm gonna let them speak today.
And that's all I have today.
This, so we, if they can speak.
Yes, then it's just, it's under invite.
All right. Well, good.
Unless you guys got something?
I know you guys waited long enough and you looked long and hard to find the right piece of equipment, so
Yeah.
I'm glad that's working out.
Yep. Thank you.
So, all right. Okay, Mark here. Ed, do you have anything for us today?
Just a little bit. As you might imagine, we've been pretty busy upstairs. Tax deadline was yesterday, and I just want to thank everybody that paid their taxes. We got a lot of people paid this last week, and all the weeks prior to. We have a chunk that came in this last week. We have another chunk yet to be paid, and the stuff that we're still talking about that's yet to be paid is on-time bank payments that we kind of save up until after the fact. Now we can kind of take our leisure to get those done. And then the on-time mail-in payments, which we'll have done here within a couple of days. So if they're postmarked by the 13th, they're considered on time, even if we get them in today's mail or possibly even tomorrow's mail. So they're working on that right now, and we'll be working on all of that in the next, it'll take us a couple of weeks to get it all done, get you some credit. but all the collections are really, really good on all that stuff. The line of credit for the workman's comp, we're still waiting on paperwork from the insurance companies on that.
I
So
mean, that was
Tony and I-
approved, so all we gotta do is wait for it to come in and.
Yeah.
Sign it.
So just want to let you know, we don't have that paperwork for you today, hopefully by next week. The certificate sale we talked about last week, I have that slated now for Tuesday, January 30th at 1 o'clock. And there's 4 parcels. There's a pretty decent house yet in Bern, on the south edge of Bern on Highway 27. That's, will be in there. There's a house in Lynn Grove that'll be in there. 1.735 wooded acres that's landlocked. That's east of the Oak Grove Place here in Decatur. And then a former alleyway that has just been abandoned and there's grass over it, and it's right between 2 houses, and one house actually owns it. But that's the 4 parcels. The 5th parcel,
As far as the property in the past that the county has owned, those are gone, and
I'm sorry,
the property that the county owned, there's a little strip of ground, I think it was on High Street, maybe. I think we've got it.
so that's been taken care of. That's not it.
And then the one out behind Johnson's, that's been taken care of, I think.
Behind Johnson's. I'm sorry.
Johnson's Auto Sales.
Yeah, that did not come up on the tax sale or anything, so I can.
I didn't mean to interrupt you,
I
sorry.
could check more on that, but I'm not aware of those properties.
'Cause I think that's the one that got real screwed.
You say it's just 4 properties?
4 properties will be in the certificate sale,
And that's at 4 in the afternoon.
1 in the afternoon.
1 in the afternoon.
Tuesday, January 30th at 1 o'clock, so you have your commissioner meeting early, and then
Did you say Monroe or Lynn Grove?
Lynn Grove is one of the houses. So there'll be some things you guys have to do to sign off on the taxes and all that stuff that will be taken care of at that point. There were 5 parcels. One of the parcels is off Monmouth Road, and we need to work with Mark on figuring out the right ways to take deed to that. Because I believe that that's what you guys want to do, is actually take deed, do all the road work you want to do. And then you can keep it, you can turn around and sell it, you have many other options, maybe sell it.
But would probably survey what we need and sell the rest off.
Yeah, but that does not even need to be determined until you're completely done with
I've got calls into
everything you got.
Jason Puckett, I think, on this,
Yeah.
so I need to talk to him. He hasn't called me back yet.
Okay, well, he'll be here, I know, in January 30th, so if you don't get a hold of him before then. But I know
hope
there's
so,
some,
though.
yeah, because there's some
2 months.
timely issues that you have to do as far as
Yep.
title search and all that stuff.
Yep.
As a county, we'll still have to go through all that procedure.
Yep.
But that's what I got Mark here for to do. That's all I have. I want to thank everybody that's paid their taxes on time. I especially want to pay tribute to my 2 staff members upstairs. We did all of this both in the spring and the fall with just 3 people in the office. And we were busy, capital B-U-S-Y, especially yesterday, we were busy, but we handled it and it worked out well. So we want to continue that going forward. All good.
Very good. We certainly appreciate that extra work on their part. And I know in past years, for as long as I can remember, your office has had to bring in part-time help. And so for Kathy and Kim being able to step up and be willing to
At least you got the,
do that extra.
you can send it out and you don't have to use that machine up there anymore.
Right. It's getting harder and harder to find somebody to do that type of work on a part-time basis. And you just can't get them from a temporary service or something like that. There's just tons of training. And it's almost easier to just do it ourselves and not worry about training somebody and then they don't show up the next go around and stuff like that. So it works and I'm happy the way we're doing.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
See Rick in here.
Shannon, did you have anything for us? No? Mark? No, I think, Mark's here, or Rick's here.
Yeah, Rick's not here.
So,
The Wabash River Commission is going to be later because we still have to
We'll
work
have
on
that
that
next
next
week.
week. Got to find the alternate that will agree to do it. Even though it's on the agenda, it's not going to be discussed because we don't have that second person yet. So you had anything more?
I've got to look. Got a letter about the county's involvement with township trustee business, so I'll respond to that. Tony and I have talked about it, so.
Can you just, maybe for the press, summarize what our role is as it relates to township trustees and township business with kind of what we've been reading in the paper? And
Well, the township trustees, that's a separate political body. They're elected, there's a board of trustees and then there's a trustee. And so that's a separate political body that can levy tax and they conduct business and make decisions. And so the county and the auditor's office has virtually no oversight over how that business is conducted. There was a proposed legislation a number of years ago to eliminate the township trustee framework, and that didn't happen, but they're independent. So when they run into these issues, then they need to work with the State Board of Accounts and see what they want to do, and then they take action. If there's a recommendation or desire to remove a trustee, then there's a statutory procedure for them to follow. So I'll follow up with them. I talked to Luke Ainsworth this morning about it, and he represents the township trustees as a whole, but he doesn't represent, or he can't represent one side or the other in a matter because he's be conflicted. So I spoke to him, and we're looking at it. Hopefully we can give a response to some of the people that have some questions. And it's really up to the State Board of Accounts to look into that. They do an investigation, and depending on what they find or what they recommend, then I would assume the Township Board of Trustees would take whatever action they're permitted to take by law. And they should have separate legal counsel to advise them on what they can do. So
I know there's some belief or opinion out there that those townships are somehow overseen by the county government, and that's just not the case.
that's not the case. They're overseen by State Board of Accounts, the same as the
Just like we
county,
are.
just like the
Yeah.
county is audited and reviewed by State Board of Accounts. So.
Good, thank you.
well, we appreciate that, because I know that's, they're having to deal with a unusual and difficult situation. So, even though we have no oversight or authority to deal with that, we will certainly cooperate if there's any way for us to cooperate.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem in, finding whatever guidance we can provide to get them to the, resources and whatever representation they need to make their decision. Certainly want them to follow the right process.
And we've given that guidance to the ones that are asking us. We let them know that State Board of Accounts has been contacted. That's who they need to to deal with, and the fact that we don't, as it stands right now, we don't have oversight or anything else. They submit things into Gateway on their own. Like Mark said, they're just separate entities unto themselves that the county has no control over.
They approve their own budget, they approve their own expenditures, their own contracts. So all of those records they would have, State Board of Accounts can look at them and decide if there's anything irregularity, or they'll let them know.
Good. Very good, thank you. Okay, so the appointment of the Wabash River Commission, you said you're not gonna do this week.
Right. Only because we know who the guy's gonna be, but we just don't know exactly who the alternate is going to be yet.
Okay,
Steve's working on that, Steve Coon.
gotcha.
What did the council do this morning with the request about the highway engineer position?
They approved
They approved the salary ordinance, and they also approved the transfer to allow for salary
Okay,
beginning, I don't know if it's 27.
November 27th was the start date. Is that right, Shannon? November 27th.
So they approved both of those things. Anything else?
I spoke to Luke about the health board's posting of, signs on property involving Country Acres with the IDEM deadlines, and I think that's gonna occur on the 15th, tomorrow.
Okay.
So we'll probably get some phone calls on that, but the answer is that's in the health department's jurisdiction, and that's something that they're taking care of. So just have to see how that plays out, and if that in some manner ends back up in front of the commissioners. I'm not sure yet how that would occur, but I think that's within the health department's jurisdiction.
Well, and historically, they had a sewage system that was permitted by IDEM that had come into disrepair, and we found that was discharging septic into a county ditch. So we stopped that. The health department stopped that. And until such time that that system was operational, they were to continue to pump their septic and haul it away. So they were on a pump and haul, and they were given 1 year to come to terms with that. And I believe tomorrow is 1 year, and they've not made any repairs or improvements to that system. So that's why the notices will be put out that their septic system is condemned. So that's the notice that will be put out tomorrow. So that's just a brief history, I guess, of that. So they were given notice 1 year ago. They were given another notice 6 months ago. And so this is the final notice tomorrow. So.
Anything else, Mark?
Nope.
That's it?
One of the things that was on the agenda, and I don't know if we have anybody in the public that wanted to address that, I'd give you an opportunity to address the rezone of the KESL farms, and we'll make a decision on what we want to do with that today. So I don't know, did you want to, anyone want to speak to that at all? Okay. Yeah, if you want to come up and just give your name, that's fine.
Marty Elman, at North Decatur on 27. I think it's kind of a dangerous precedence to set. We've got new sewer all through the northern part of the county. If this is the start of everything that's available to be built on, if this signals the start of something like this, I think it could get out of hand pretty quick.
As far as additional rezoning,
Yes, yes. And I don't believe part of this is even going to have sewer to it, is that correct?
well, that's what I'm not sure of either. What's come to us, I mean, obviously, we've seen the proposed plat, but what's actually come to us as commissioners is just the rezone. So, other than that, I don't have a lot of details on what's exactly planned, but, so.
Well, there's a lot of ground on the north end of the county if sewer is what it takes to get the rezoning approved. There's a lot of farmland that's what's the right word? Liable to have this happen to it. That's all I
Yeah.
can say.
Yeah, well, and that's true. I mean, the sewer definitely does open up to a lot of additional, residential rezone and, so you're right. You know, with the sewer initially coming out to pre-stress and then the extension coming out to just past 900 North, then that makes this a possibility to another sewer extension that would accommodate the proposed plan. So, yeah, you're 100% right. Anything else? Anybody else want to speak to it? You're certainly welcome. Yeah.
Name's Chase Gupelon.
Okay.
10144 North, Cruise 2029. Just to kind of reiterate what he said, it does set a precedent, and local farmers around here can't compete whenever big builders like that come in with their spending power, you know, anytime farm ground comes up. It is liable to turn eventually the entire countryside, which is in the field of Adams County, into a more subdivided area, which would be a shame for local economy and everything, I suppose. In addition to that, specifically lots 1 through 8, they are in a really great spot at all. They're backed up against a floodplain, and they're right next to a substation. It's just not a great area. Like, looks wise or aesthetic, I don't think it brings any value at all to the local area as far as improving the value of the neighborhood, I guess you'd say. Past that, I think that, this is, I think this is the precedent, should be upheld a little bit. I don't think it'll benefit the county in the long run, especially the, people that have lived here for a while, and the, farmers especially. I guess that's it.
Well, I very much appreciate your comments. That's, you know, one of the things that the Plan Commission goes back to and that we also go back to is the Adams County Comprehensive Land Use Plan. So I've read that through several times and it does give a high priority to the preservation of farm ground. So it's definitely a zoning issue. And like I said, that's what's before us today as commissioners is the zoning issue. So, we have had the benefit of seeing the proposed, plot plan also. So, when the Plan Commission did not act to approve or deny this, but sent it down the road to us, we have 90 days from that time to take any action on it at all. So I think there's more discussion that has to be had, both among us and among the involved parties and our attorneys. And so I think not kick the can down the road, but I guess at this time, I myself am not in favor of making a decision. And that doesn't help you guys right now, but I do appreciate the comment. And so I guess I would be in favor of tabling it. I don't know how you gentlemen feel. So,
Yeah, I've struggled a lot with this. You know, I know we have, I know our county land use plan puts a high priority on agricultural ground, and I agree with that. Born and raised in Adams County, born and raised on a farm. I hate to see that ag land continue to erode away. But also know that we have a need for housing in our county. So trying to strike that balance is difficult for me. And I know that, I know we continue to try and figure out exactly what this zoning entails and what the intended use is. My fear is more, I feel Greg's intentions are good with what I've been able to understand. But once that zoning is changed to residential, I think that becomes a lot more difficult to control. The last thing I want is a 50 or 100 home subdivision sitting out in the middle of the county. That I just don't want to see that. So I struggle with it quite a bit. So I'm not ready to go one way or the other yet. So I would be in favor of tabling this and give us just a little more time to continue to consider it, continue to talk, continue to understand what exactly the owner wants to do and what the intentions are and maybe what our options are.
Yeah, I'm in compliance with these gentlemen. I think we ought to table this because I'm not ready to make a decision on it. And I'd be for even also sending it back to the Plan Commission. But as of today, I think it ought to be tabled.
so I guess I'd entertain a motion.
Go ahead, Steve.
I'll make that motion that we table this until further down the road. We'll let the public know.
I'll second that.
You want to give a specific date or do not give a?
I would say not give a date because you've got time, and I think I've called the surveyor, so we need some more information.
Okay.
I don't want to put a date on it.
All right, very good. I'd be in favor of that motion also, so I'd vote in favor.
I think sooner than later. I don't think this is something that we just let die because of inaction. I think these folks and the folks that have spoke to the Plan Commission and the developer, you know, we don't want to discourage developers and individuals who want to invest in Adams County from investing in Adams County reasonably.
Okay.
So I think we just need to, I'm just not quite there yet.
Okay. All right, motion carries, vote 3-0 to table. So, okay, Chase?
If I could just add something. we do need more, especially low-income housing in this area for people. But we do have Andrews Addition already, specifically where you are across the highway. It's fairly close. And that addition, if Fleming does want to build houses, they should probably do it closer to Decatur, the town, so they can help local economy there. And something else better.
It's okay, Chase. None of us are public speakers either, so just,
Well,
we're good with that.
and you know, that's a prime focus of zoning, is obviously to encourage residential and commercial zoning in the right places.
Mhm.
And so that's a big zoning consideration for sure.
Oh, yeah, now I remember. He did mention that I think in the woods there on some, I can't remember which acres they were, but he wanted to put houses for $1, which is completely fine, you know. 1 or 2 neighbors is no deal at all, and people should be able to enjoy the country, but especially those ones right next to the river there, and I think it was another across the road where, I think Steiner wanted to, expand his dairy or something.
Yeah, he's got a veal barn, he's got a confined feeding operation.
Yeah, those would be unfortunate if it impeded his progress. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much. Well, we're gonna table this and, I'd rather not call it kicking the can down the road, but it's tabling any, action on our part for now, till we got more information.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. Yep. Appreciate your input.
All right, is that all you got, Mark? Okay, thank you. All right. Well, it probably doesn't look like we'll have any report from Rick this morning. He's not here. Okay. Anything else from the general public? We've got our surveyor here. You don't want to take any surveys today? Okay. If that's all there is from the general public, then I would accept the motion to adjourn. Unless
We
you've got,
need to circle back to our calendar for next year one of these days. I know Tony had that on the agenda and pulled it off here a couple of weeks ago. Maybe we can
Okay.
see that back again next week.
Yep. I'll have her send that out again, and I think really it's just determining one thing for you guys. You just need to figure out what you want to do, and we'll change
We
it.
would like 9 PM meetings.
Okay, sure. And that way
Who
you
would
meet,
like 9
that
p.m.?
way you'll meet after the council.
yeah.
I'm done with the crack after about 6 p.m. So
All right,
I'll make a motion to adjourn. Second.
all right, meeting adjourned.